Welcome to part 2. So in this lesson, we're going to learn how to identify and name parts of a circle. So some vocabulary we need to learn. A chord of a circle is going to be a segment with both endpoints on the circle. Okay? A diameter is a chord that passes through the center of a circle. So a diameter is a chord, but a chord isn't always a diameter. So chord just has to touch the circle at two endpoints. Diameter has to touch the circle at two endpoints, but it has to go through the middle. Last but not least, the radius of a circle is a segment with one endpoint on the circle and one endpoint on the center of the circle. Okay? So below you have a circle, and I want you to draw a radius and label it OA. I want you to draw a chord and label it BA, and then label a diameter and call it CA. So you may have to look at the ordering and the lettering to figure out where the center of the circle is before you can start drawing. And then go ahead and do number 6 as well. What is the geometric term for point O? Okay, so try that. We'll go over some answers. Press pause. So here is an example. I tried to draw two separate ones and I kind of got the same picture. So notice that O had to be your center because the radius is O and then A, and then the diameter is C and then A. So we know A has to be on the outside of the circle because it's a second letter in all of these. So O had to be your center. As long as you have that, you're good. The diameter has to go through the middle. So you could have the middle going left to right, you could have it going up and down like this, just as long as you have the diameter going through the middle of the circle. And then a chord had to start off at endpoint A. Just kidding, yeah, it had to start off at endpoint A and then go to point B. So you could have had a chord going up and down. I had it going on the bottom this time. You could even have it going like this, like that could be B, as long as it started at point A, because A had to be on the outside of the circle. Okay? And then number 6, the geometric term for point O is going to be the center of the circle. Okay? Moving on. So the circles below are concentric. Concentric, concentric, meaning that they have the same center. Okay? So that word centric kind of meaning center, con meaning same. So the center of both of the circles is P. So I have a big circle and I have a little circle, a circle within a circle. They're concentric and they both have the center P. I want you to try A and B. So A says, explain why circle P is not an appropriate name for the small circle. So why can't I call that circle circle P? B says, propose an alternate name for the small circle so that that would be appropriate. So how do I know which circle you're talking about? Are you talking about the big circle, the little circle? Can you give me a mathematically great way of naming this circle so I want to know what you're talking about? Okay, so try A and B, think about those, and then we'll come back and discuss them. Press pause. So part A, the reason why circle P is not a good name is because it's too ambiguous, meaning it's too vague. I don't know which part you're talking about. So circle P could refer to the small circle or the big circle because they both have the same center, but I don't know. So a way to improve this solution is I could call it circle P with radius PQ, because that tells me I'm talking about the smaller circle because that's the radius. Okay, if I was talking about the bigger circle, I could say circle P with radius PR, because that tells me the bigger circle's name. Okay, so if you ever have a circle within a circle, a concentric circle, to kind of distinguish between the two, you can talk about its radius. Cool, right? So cool. All right, let's wrap this up. Super quick lesson on circles. So go ahead and try 8, 9, and 10. It's kind of a review of both circles and angles. And then we will check our work and then review. All right, so let's talk about number 8. It says compare and contrast the terms of acute, right, obtuse, and straight angle. So that's kind of just a review of our vocabulary. They are all angles that measure no more than 80, and they're all bigger than 0. I said a right angle and a straight angle refer to angles with an exact measurement. So a right angle has to be 90, a straight angle has to be 180. And then acute and obtuse have a angle that can vary. It can be between this number, but it doesn't have an exact angle measure. All right, number 9, the measure of an angle A is 42 degrees, which I have down here. What's the measure of something that is complementary to A? Again, complementary means 90. So I did 90 minus 42 degrees to get 48 degrees. So that's the complement of that angle measurement. Part B wanted to know the measure that was supplementary to it. And again, supplementary is 180. And so 180 minus 42 would be 138. Okay? Last but not least, it wants you to draw a circle P. So I drew a circle and put P in the center. And then it wants you to draw a segment that has one endpoint on the circle, but is not a chord. That would mean draw a radius. And so just make sure you have a radius where A is on the outside of the circle, wherever you want. Tons of answers for that one. B was a little bit tricky. It wanted a segment that intersects the circle in 2 points and is contained in the center, but it's not a radius, not a diameter, and not a chord. So the way around that is to basically draw a diameter, but have it extend outside the circle. So have any points you want. I used B and C. Have them outside of the circle. So that one was kind of tricky. Made you think on that one. Okay? All right, we're going to wrap up the lesson now. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully our learning targets were to identify and name parts of a circle. So hopefully you can identify a radius, a chord, and a diameter in the parts of a circle with the center. And then I end you with a joke. So a triangle is saying, "You're so pointless," because it doesn't have points. Okay, thanks for watching. Have fun practicing.